Hi. Today I'm going to be talking to you about something that happened to me only last week. Um, Last week I was competing in our PSAC qualifying championships for track and field, and I tore my Achilles. I just want to go over with you what happened and what it was like because I don't want other athletes, especially when injuries like this that are so big that take you out of seasons, to feel alone. So I've been lucky that my friends and my teammates and my coaches have been really helpful and showering me with support. So I just wanted to reach out to others that are in like similar situations. So here we go. So here's how it happened. I'll describe it to you. It was Saturday the 25th. I was supposed to be long jumping. So the week before, I actually had my tendon was pretty tight. So I was supposed to be jumping at Susquehanna, and I was going pretty slow, and I didn't think much of it because last year I actually had tendonitis, and it didn't hurt even remotely close to the pain. I just thought, that maybe I'd be sore with the type of training we do and the workouts. Who knows? So fast forward to the week of PSACs, and what actually happened was it was open pit. My flight was called. I went over to the runway. I had my mark set down and everything. Everything was fine. I did a run through, and what a run through is, if you don't know what that is, you're just checking to make sure you're on the board so that you don't foul. And I did my first one, went through the stand, everything was fine. My coach told me, hey, listen, you're behind the board. I fixed my step, went back to get my other one. And this was when it happened, okay? I was going back, and he told me to push out harder, and I said, you're right, I need to. I'm pretty slow, so I just need to push out to get my mark. So here I was, standing on the runway. I remember I pushed out. I was taking some powerful steps. I remember I got to like my fifth powerful step, and then boom, I felt it. And what it feels like is it feels like something shooting you in the back of your leg. Now, I correlated this to a shot put hitting me. I don't know why I did, but I did. I swore up and down that a shot put came flying out of midair and hit me in my leg. I know that sounds crazy, but that was the only thing I could think of. And so when this first happened, I went down. I threw myself off the runway and I rolled over and I was off to the side because I didn't want to be in the way. And your body goes into this type of shock. Like, I didn't feel any pain. Like, initially when it snapped, I felt the pain, but afterwards, like for seconds up to 2 minutes afterwards, I didn't feel anything. My coach actually came up to me, grabbed the back of my calf muscle, and quick fact, your tendon is connected to your calf muscle, so when he grabbed it, that is when I realized that I was in pain. That literal second that he just touched the back of my calf, I was like, oh shoot, this hurts. I was crying, I was kind of screaming, I was moving. It wasn't enjoyable. So, from there, like, it was more of a mental thing more rather than a physical thing, because the instant I snapped it, my Achilles, the area, it swollen, and you could feel the heat radiating off of it. So the trainers that came over, by the way, this was in Edinburgh, 7 hours away from where I was. So typically, you'd probably have your trainer there. You go to a hospital, and normally what they try and do is, because time is of essence, you normally get your surgery done closer to when your injury happened. Where mine was like a week after because of how far away I was and scheduling. But anyways, you could tell, they could instantly tell that I tore it. Sometimes it's not as obvious. Mine was very obvious. There's this big lump on the side of my ankle that you could tell was just swollen. And she touched it, and she was like, she diagnosed me right then and there. I was laying on the ground. Everybody was staring at me, and it was dead silent. And they came over with crutches. What they did is they took me. This is how they actually 100% knew. They took me over to the table. They lay me down on my stomach, and what they do is they feel your calf muscles. If they squeeze it, your toe moves. Well, I hurt it on my right one, no surprise, because I do triple jump, and I triple jump off my right, and with all the strain that goes on it, it was bound to happen to one of them. But when she grabbed my right one, she told me, hey, listen, your toes aren't moving. That's not a good sign. That means you tore something. It may not be fully, it may be partial, but you tore it. Well, I went to the fast forward to the doctors, they told me I tore it. I just wanted to explain to you what it felt like. It's more or less your body goes into shock, then you realize the pain. And the weirdest part about this injury is that when you hurt it, it's going to be painful for about 24 hours. And then after that, you won't feel anything. Like, you will practically be fine. You will probably not feel like you even hurt anything. It's crazy, I know, because I was terrified. I couldn't go to a hospital right away. I didn't have a doctor. So I was like, oh my goodness, what if I did something major to it? Which, I mean, I did, but it's not like like when you break your arm or ankle or anything that you have this uncomfortable pain for a lasting long time. It's like 24 hours and then pain. So the most important thing that you should do for this injury is you have to get it wrapped, you have to get it iced, you have to get any type of painkiller in you, and you have to have it elevated. What they did for me is they put a splint on, and then they wrapped it around to make sure that my ankle wasn't moving, it couldn't go anywhere, so I couldn't hurt myself any further, and to reduce the swelling also. But it's definitely key to make sure that you get the ice and the elevation, because you don't want it swelling any more than it will. I was okay. I had mine I literally lay there for hours with my leg up in the air because I really didn't. I had nothing to do. I couldn't do any of my events because of my injury, so I had to sit and I had to keep it elevated. So that is the key thing that you want to do. On top of that, another thing to realize is what you're going through mentally. Now, when I had this, I had to come to terms with it. Yes, I was crying. I wouldn't necessarily say I was crying because of pain. It was more of accepting the fact that I was injured and I knew that was my season. What they tell you is this typically takes about a year to recover from. So that means I will be missing indoor and outdoor season, which means I'll be redshirting. And I think it's a good idea. I mean, to set goals early on. I already had my surgery. But I'll make a video on that. But I had my surgery, and in 2 weeks I'll be going back. They told me in about 4 to 6 weeks after that, I'll get my cast off. Right now I have a cast on. This is what my cast looks like. It's that's my ice pack. So that's what my cast looks like. And then they'll put me in a boot for 4 to 6 weeks, and then I'll start physical therapy. These are the goals I have. I want to, after these 2 weeks are up, which I can't do anything, I want to start doing my core workouts. I want to start doing upper body lifting. After those 4 to 6 weeks are over, that I can start walking, I want to start getting in pools and start being able to do things like aqua jogging, or making sure that I can still maybe be on a bike later on, or an elliptical, something that's not going to be so high pressure. And then, of course, there's walking on my own, and then there's getting back to the routine, and then there's becoming more physically fit, and then there's the performance aspect. So that's how I see myself right now. Like I said, I'm only a week in, but I'm setting goals to where I want to be and how I want my season to be. So I think that's also a great idea to do. Never underestimate yourself. Don't kick yourself out of the game now. I know it's hard, and I know that it's something that's hard to accept, especially with an injury like this. Something that takes so long. It's not something that you can just say, hey, listen, give it a couple months and you'll be back in. This is like a slow healing process that you can't skip. You can't skip corners. You can't cut corners. But the biggest key, I would say, is having a positive mentality. Being able to keep yourself positive and keeping people around you positive that will support you is going to be the biggest thing that is going to help you reach this comeback, in my opinion. I know everybody holds different values and has different ways of accepting things, but I do believe that the core fact is if you have a positive attitude, you have people that support you, that you'll make it through this. This is not the end. You'll get back. You'll recover. It's just a minor setback. Now, somebody did ask me to show a video of myself doing crutches, so I'll do that. Alright, this is me going up the stairs. What you want is when you're using crutches, you want to have it at an angle. You don't want it to be right here, because it's a lot wobblier and it's not stable. So you want to have a good base. You want to have it spread apart. And what you want to do, one hand on a banister, one hand on the crutches. And you want to lift yourself up, bring it with you, one at a time. Take your time, no need to rush, you don't want to fall. That wouldn't be good. Making sure that you're using your leg first, crutch second. Leg first, crutch second. Alright? Making sure, again, that you have a good base. Making sure there's not backwards or forwards. Keeping your balance. Then once you're at the top, make sure you got out the stairwell. Put them back underneath you. Like I said, same with crutching that way. Just want to make sure. Okay. Have a good, solid, not here, but here. Make sure they're not directly under your armpit or there will be bruises. 3 fingers away, alright? You can take 3 fingers, put them under your armpit. That'd be great. And to make sure that your elbows are in. Bend. So make sure that your elbows are bent. So this is me going down the steps. What you typically want to do is, this is my right side. I'm going to have the crutches on my left side. And I'm going to place it in front of me. And remember to keep your leg in front of you and not behind you because you don't want to lose balance. Alright? Takes a while, but you'll get there. Slowly and surely. Alright? And this is what I recommend. Just taking your time. Did it run out? Alright, good? But just remember, positive attitude, positive outcome. You got this. You're not alone. This is why I'm making this documentary, to show that nothing is off limits, even when you're injured, especially as an athlete. I mean, you've already put yourself this far. There's no point in quitting now. Well, I hope you really like this video. Thank you. Please like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll be putting up more videos, and hopefully very soon. I'm not really sure, depending on how much moving I am while I be, and especially for my schedule. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.